Hello, Voila villagers. This is Joel, obviously, and a few things I want to talk to you about, things that kind of been happening in the world and then finding its way into the Voila village. If any of you remember the very first day, I talk about when you learn the assessment, the Voila assessment, there's a couple of different things that have to happen. And I think this goes over a lot of people's heads. I say, number one, you have to trust the assessment. Number two, you have to trust me. You have to trust that I knew what I was doing when I put the assessment together, and then it works. And the second part, I think, is the hardest part for people, to be honest. There's a lot of bias that pops up, and you can see it right now, happening in the world. There's such a Republican Democrat divide. It's not really, but it's being there. But you can look at anything right now. Racial divide, right? There's a lot of Asian hate going on. There's a lot of gun versus anti-gun going on with all the mass shootings that we've had in just the last week. I think we've had 3 as of today in doing this video. There was another example I had, but it's also a big division with men and women. And this is where this really comes in, is something that, if you choose to look at it, is going to really, I believe, help your growth in the Voila village. So I'm inviting you to take a look at this, because I have to deal with this quite often. This is part of the stuff that you guys don't get to see very often, is the backlash I get from both men and women dealing with your anger toward men. On the men's side, it comes off as a competition. They want to compete against me. This has happened quite a few times in the village. And also women want to do that too, because it's really been interesting with the whole feminist movement or whatever. Women have literally lost their femininity. They're handling and coming at projects as from their masculine side, not their feminine. So just something to take a look at. Like I said, with men, it's more of a competition, because that's what men do, right? I do this experiment in every class that I think Jeremy has been in, where we'll stand face to face, and you can literally watch us unconsciously puff up. Our chests will get bigger. I do every demo for a reason. And some of them you don't understand, some of them you may understand at the time. But what I'm trying to do now is create more clarity so you do understand this. On the flip side, there's also women that want to compete with me as well in the Voila village, which is really interesting, because they're trying to find their divinity, but they're coming from a masculine side of themselves. So it really doesn't work. It doesn't come through as authentic at all. So the other thing, and also a part is, there's so much anger toward men from women, and a lot of it, you don't even realize it. You might have had, your parents may have divorced when you were little, and there may have been things said between mom and dad that you may have overheard, or you perceive, or whatever it is. And men, we have to understand that women never feel safe. There was a great experiment that was done where you ask men, what do you need to do to feel safe? And the list is very short. The women, the list is really, really long. And it's some things, as men don't even have to think about, like carrying your keys in between your fingers, in case somebody comes near you and whatnot. So I really invite you to just take a look at, are you trying to compete with me? Are you angry at me? Because I'm the one that ends up taking it, even though you may or may not realize you're doing it. And these are some of the things that I talk about when you may not understand what I'm talking about until it happens. So women, just take a look at your anger toward men. You may not think you have any, but do your assessment, dig deep, and see what comes up, because there is something there. And men, you assess why you feel like you need to compete with me, because I'm not competing with you. The place I come from with VOILA, and the place that I've always come from with VOILA, and it's really what's made it successful, is I care about each and every one of you in helping you grow if you want to grow. If you don't want to grow, that's fine too. You know, if you just want to learn, that's totally acceptable. But it always comes from a place of helping you. It's never to hurt you. And women have been hurt so often by men that it's really hard to go, oh, a man actually cares about me, but doesn't really want anything from me other than helping me grow, helping me become a better woman, helping me become a better man, right? So if we come from that place, because that's the place I'm coming from, and trying to help you, and, you know, sometimes, you know, I can point things out that you may not want to really look at, may not really want to see right now, and that's okay too. When the time is right, it'll happen, maybe, you know, if you choose to take a look at that. So anyway, that's what I invite you to do. You know, Easter's coming up, so a nice little rebirth, resurrection, whatever. I think it'll help clean up some of the energy that's in the VOILA village right now that I haven't been happy with. But I think that this is the root cause. You know, as one study has shown, that most all of our insecurities and whatnot come from childhood trauma. Or childhood trauma. So take a look at those if you choose to, and see what you come up with. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and look forward to talking to you all soon.